I'll just go ahead and call the meeting back to order. Moving on to agenda item, Meeker County Commissioner candidate Jeff Miedenthal. Yeah. All right, I got it.
You got it. Right. My name's Jeff, and Steve and I are both running the race for County Commissioner of District 5. A worthy opponent and I are having a very interesting race, and it takes two people to have a race. So my background is 26 years in the fleet, and after that retired.
Jeff, can I have you stand up at the podium? Just
Yes.
then we can get your voice on
Very good.
on tape.
Okay, thank you. 26 years in the fleet, and after that retired and went to industry, ran major ship construction design projects, software management. I'm not a software coder, but I had to manage software coders, and they're a strange and remarkable group of people. Thank God I'm not one of them. System engineering projects and network design projects on ship, ripping off all the existing networks on a ship and replacing that with a new backbone. So we ripped out 7, 8, 10, depending upon the class of ship, and put a new one in to save the taxpayer money. I could go into ad infinitum detail. I would bore you to tears, but it was exciting to do that job. I lived here now for 10 years. My wife has a century farm out in Swede Grove. We live right on the border between Swede Grove and Union Grove on the middle fork of the Crow River. We run our 80 acres. My brother-in-law's 120 acres. And I'm learning how to do ag. This is not sailing ships, it's not navigating, it's not taking care of steam propulsion, but this has been a whole new learning experience. It's a lot of fun. My goals for the county are to do two basic things. Number one, I think the county is well run right now. I want to continue its well greased, functional architecture. I think it's working well. And we have to continue to spend the money we've got to spend, not what some people want to spend on our budget. The county commission's got two primary functions. Number one, set the budget, which sets the tax levy. And number two, to work with the county staff to help them function as efficiently and effectively as they can to keep taxes down and keep the costs down to run the county. So if you've got any specific questions, I'd be glad to answer them. But the background of running people, projects, things, was in the wheelhouse. That's what I've done my entire career. And I've got the energy and the desire to run this thing one more time to make it work.
Okay.
I see you've been on the city council for 2 years? You've been on the city council for 2 years?
City council.
No.
Oh, the church council.
Church council,
Got
yes.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when I was at the city, when I lived in Chesapeake, Virginia, when I was retired, I worked with the city for 10 years, 2 years on public safety, 8 years on the stormwater committee. We had the city of Chesapeake was actually a county, 358 square miles. We had to manage 2,700 miles of drainage ditches and 1,400 or 1,500 miles of covered pipe to move water. Chesapeake is only 4 or 5 feet above sea level, so whenever it rained, we were wet. So we had to spend a lot of money, a lot of energy getting the getting the city drained and keep those ditches open and moving. It was another learning experience. And out of that 2,700 miles of ditches, about half of that was public land, city owned, the other half was public and private owned. And getting access to the public-private land, I learned a lot about legal negotiations with landowners and how you negotiate with them to get access through their ground with some heavy machinery. We weren't always successful.
Okay.
We had some floods.
So, as you probably have found out when you're probably researching the district, this town straddles 2 counties.
Yes, you do.
And it has come up from time to time over the years where when you look at just the numbers in Meeker County, they tend to forget that there's a whole nother half of town that we do a lot of business in Meeker County. One of the concerns that I've seen is that they recently did that rural broadband study. Mm-hmm. When they came out with the results for that, I had been talking with Dave Kruger over there at the Meeker County Development Corp, and specifically asked him that when you guys do your survey, don't forget about half the city of Eden Valley. even if you guys don't plan on covering it, at least have a plan for that, or at least work with me, and we'll work with the Stearns County Commissioners to draft a more broad, more comprehensive plan. We got that broadband results back. Only half the town's been designed. Looks like they're, you know, one of the options is burying fiber, you know, all the way up to the county line. You know, so there's situations like that. Plus with when it came to like the new election equipment, Stearns County, we got these nice new digital e-poll books, digital electronic equipment. We're still on the paper system on the Meeker County side. So even though, you know,
And will be for the foreseeable future.
yeah, and we would like to, you know, we would have liked to have been able to maybe even be at the table a little bit on that, you know, because again, we're in a unique, you know, not necessarily a very unique situation, but we're in a unique situation here in central Minnesota, where we're across two counties, two very distinct voting districts, you know, and sometimes we feel like we get forgotten.
And quite frankly, you are on many occasions. You obviously have talked to Barb Locke about the voting machine issues.
I believe, Mona, you've reached out.
Yeah, okay. And you understand what her issues are and what she's trying to do? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we would have liked to have been able to at least have, you know, have some more, you know, before they made an official decision on it, you know, at least, you know, let us try to come up with a solution where, you know, both sides of town are using the same type of equipment. Right. So.
That's one of the issues, is that the county staff and their communication with both, particularly the townships. When I first moved up here, I went to the Swede Grove Township Board meetings for a couple of years, 3 years. And that's what kind of got me motivated to start going to the county commission, because the communication between the county staff and the township boards is meager at best. And the new engineer is here, and he has stepped out. He's going to all the townships, and he's got a rotational schedule set up, so he's going to hit them all eventually. There's 25 different townships. I know he started with Swede Grove, and I think he's moving up to Union Grove next, and then over to Manana. So he's trying to get that communication rolling, but that's just the engineer. We also have the other segments of the county staff that need to open up their communication channels also.
So then one of the other concerns too is, and it's probably more perception than maybe what's actual reality, is, you know, with the Meeker County Development Corp, it seems like they focus a lot on Litchfield and Dassel. We have wonderful opportunities out here in Eden Valley, and we've got, you know, we can do a deal, you know, to get bring businesses into town, bring development into town. But it seems like, and it could just be perception, that they focus on Litchfield and the Dassel area, and the two larger towns in Meeker County. So I guess what I was trying to do is get to a question of, like, now, if you were elected commissioner, how would you help a town similar, help Eden Valley voice our concerns to the rest of the commission, you know, the rest of the commissioner board, to make sure that we're not forgotten, you know, and work with us.
Okay, on that card, you'll see that one of the things I want to do to open up that communications path, I'm going to get to every one of the township boards within the district and the cities and towns within the district at least once a quarter to sit here through your meeting and listen to figure out what you need, what's going on, what has to happen within the county to support your forward movement. What do you need up here that's not getting done? And it's the same thing. It's the same thing we did in industry. When you've got a problem, you got to get everybody at the table, sit them down, talk to them, hash it out, argue, fight, sketch, crawl, make a decision, and move on.
Okay. All right. I know I've been stealing all the time. Open.
Specifically to your problem with Litchfield and Dassel, I've had a couple of, I've been talking all day. I've had a couple conversations with Judy at the Chamber of Commerce, and I raised to her this issue about 3 or 4 years ago, that they were solely focused, the Chamber of Commerce was solely focused on Litchfield. They've broadened that to the Litchfield area which does not necessarily include the outer boundaries of the county. And that's the next step we have to take. It's like dropping a pebble into the pond. Right now, there's this little group around Litchfield. They've broadened out. We got to take that circle one more step to incorporate the entire county, not just that central area.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions?
You did good.
Oh, well, it's almost like I'm running for office myself, huh?
I think you are.
All right. No, I appreciate you coming in, Jeff, and speaking with us tonight. Really
Okay.
appreciate it.
It's a two-person race. I want to make sure you knew that my worthy opponent has somebody to run against.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to 2018 project. The project pay request number 1. Looks like we got our first pay request. So everybody had a chance to at least take a look at it. I'm not my little expert.
Typical pay request.
Typical pay request? Okay. All right, all right.
Can also, added to your agenda tonight is, he just sent a memo, just kind of an update on this.
Oh, there we go.
With the gas line. What's with the gas lines? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I read that one.
And he's recovering from his surgery, so that's why he wasn't able to be here. But he said he was sure Jen could give you any updates and answers to as well.
They're, talking with Mitchell, the on-site inspector. Mid next week, they're hoping for some cement started, providing Mother Nature behaves and the wires and gas lines go away. But it's a slow process with all that stuff underground, and you only got a small area to work into without everybody running into each other, so. But it's moving, it's moving. On the project, also Monday, the sewer lateral people will be here to start doing the laterals 10 feet out. As was in the, and there's yet to be some more camera and clean. They had trouble with their camera, or their cleaning heads last time they were here, so they thought they'll do that. They're coming out of Monday, and as of the 22nd, the manhole structures will be rehabbed. There's 11 of them that will be done. That's scheduled for the 22nd right now.
Okay.
All the stormwater pipe in the ground as needs to be, or? Yeah.
So basically, all the in-ground work, except for the gas lines, is done.
Right, the stuff that's in the way now has to either be moved or done. Where they're at.
And then mainly that'll cross back here, or is that all that?
No,
Or is it all here too?
they snagged the phone line yesterday at 400 and 600 late today. A lot of repairing last night again, so. Oops.
Not marked, or what?
Yeah. There's gas line right over here and to the south, and phone wire on Central that has to be lowered or whatever. And now it's play weight game with everybody so they can get here.
Okay.
And so people are aware when they do them sewer manhole rehabs, they do their best to keep the fiberglass and that resin smell away. It's gonna stink a little bit, so
What did with the line?
don't be calling you all the time, I'm sure. Not too bad.
I walked in here after they did the main and this place smelled like
Yeah,
fiberglass.
some people get a little excited sometimes, but it stinks a little bit and then it goes away. But
Not as bad as the smoke coming out of their chimneys. I get more excited over that. Because they're over here and the smoke's over there, they're thinking something's burning down. Had a few wild people in that.
did he have any comment about our State Street project? What did they ever come up with? Cause we gotta be coming up on a deadline on that guy, I'm assuming.
Good word. Yeah,
Cause when's the 2 years up on that?
I thought it was.
So our issues that we have,
They're fixing, and Jeff, last I heard, when you still know as well, Jeff was gonna finish repairing what his, we're doing.
what did they ever come up with the curb settlement?
Curb and sidewalk,
Settlement?
Yeah.
that's it, yeah.
Seeing the part, basically.
That's what they said? Or what?
I've heard that, oh, a long time ago. That's basically what Ken told me.
Do we still got the bond?
I do not know that.
We haven't released anything.
That hasn't been released?
Not that I'm,
Because technically that work is not complete. It's not to standard, technically. So that'd be up to them.
well, the last time Ken was here, he said he was working on it. I never heard the fact that it go to court. I never heard that. I don't know where.
He had said that outside.
You definitely don't want that. I mean, you don't want that,
No,
but.
no, he
Because
said-
the city's the one that suffers at the end of it.
Exactly.
You know? And that's, I mean, but at the same time, it seems like it keeps coming. I mean, there's a point that, I don't know, he's gotta do something. It's technically that bond, I guess, doesn't have to be released on our end.
I think he just, at the last meeting, that when you asked him, he said he was working on it. I'm guessing that because of his surgery that he.
Oh, and that's fine, but I'm just, if that warranty expires and that work is not done and nothing happens with that, then,
We're stuck with
oh well. But that's where we hold the bond. So, two can play that game. You just don't wanna go that route. That's not something you wanna do.
No,
I mean, they're local people too. I mean, we don't need this, but at the same time, we have to look out for our city. That's not a product that we're gonna stand by. That's not gonna work. That's not acceptable. So,
Yeah, we gotta come to some type of mutual resolution on it.
yeah, there's a lot of curb. I mean,
The
it's,
state man never pulled.
no, I know, and I've been on them.
Okay.
I can show you the emails. He's getting, I think I'm irritating him. That's how it works though. I mean, this is a busy time of year for everybody too though, but,
It'd be nice to have that resolved, that part.
well, you gotta do it before they quit pouring concrete.
All right, but I'm gonna circle us back to the pay request here. Anybody have any comments, questions?
No, looks good.
All right.
Good.
Now I'll go ahead and make a motion to pay payment request number 1 for the 2018 improvement project.
Second.
I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, on to a supplemental update. Darren Hondo with the ads for the street closure for the Eden Valley Fire Department.
We just want to close the street by the fire department right before our parking lot, or right after our parking lot for our open house for like 3.5 hours is all we want to do.
Is that like in front of the water plant then?
Yep, it would, so
Okay.
it'd start right after the fire department's parking lot and go towards the end of the road.
Okay.
Would you like to explain to people why you were closing that?
We're gonna have an open house for the fire department on October 27th, 11 to 3. We're gonna have, hopefully we're gonna get LifeLink there if the weather cooperates. We're gonna have some kids' activities, and we're gonna have a kitchen fire trailer demonstration unit. And Meeker County Sheriff, or Meeker County Officer, not a sheriff. And then Watkins Ambulance, and along with Ernie from the city. So, should be a good time. Hopefully we get a good turnout.
All are welcome.
All right, well,
For sure. Free food.
Excuse me, we will also have to close off Jack's parking lot, because they do swing through there when they get gas or
Okay.
et cetera.
Okay.
So we're aware of that.
you might
Should probably
wanna
be in
reach out
touch
to
with John.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that.
I don't see him having an issue with it, but just so he knows. All right. Okay, Ernie, any issues you see? there. Jim, any issues? All right. Anybody on the council?
Nope.
All right. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the application for the Eden Valley Fire Department's open house on October 27, 2018. Hopefully we see everybody there.
Second.
Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Had to sneak that last little bit in there.
Typical politician.
I know, typical politician. Okay, on to zoning administrator compliance officer reporting.
So we have 4 units that are still not licensed. Update on 477 Maple Street. I did not get it in time to include in my packet, so I printed you guys off a copy. And there wasn't much notes in my file on this one, but it got sent to the city attorney. So I contacted Bethany for an update on what she had. So basically, the first 2 pages are her letter to Mr. Getzkow, telling him that he needs to get caught up on his taxes and finish the repairs. Page 3 and 4 is Mr. Getzkow's response to that. And item 2 is probably the most important thing that you guys need to look over and see how you want to handle that.
Oh, okay. Mona, we were just actually talking about this one.
I have no idea what you're looking at.
It'd be 477 Maple Street.
Maple
Corner.
Street's Pier?
That's over,
Runs behind the high school,
one that runs behind the high school.
towards, past the Church of God.
477's up and rolls in.
Is that, it's
Yeah.
that modular or
It's in north, it's in
Yeah.
north side of County Line.
across
Yeah.
from, yeah,
High north side, Chandler's.
by Teal, right? Across the street from Teal there, by the Church of God?
Yeah, by the Church of God there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's an interesting situation. Do we know if, we can find out if is there an actual payment plan with the county on him trying to get caught up on his property taxes?
It says here, we're paying $600.
But I'm trust but verify mode here.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't,
got it.
Yeah, the county should be able to tell you that.
The part that really just sticks out with me is that he even states in here in his letter back to the lawyer that even though it is not in my name, we've been paying taxes on the property plan. And he currently has it rented out, right?
How can you rent it out and it's not in his name?
That is a very good question.
Is he subleasing it? Isn't that the one with the squishy floor?
Yeah, she fell through the floor, got hurt. Yeah, she got hurt,
Is that why she's in a wheelchair now?
yeah.
I was not aware of that.
So that property has this amount on page 3. That's how much they owe on back taxes on their property?
As of July
Yeah.
11th. If you go by the date of the letter.
Begs the question, how long did he have it on contract for deed? That's a lot of money for back taxes. On a property like that, I think. I mean, even mine, that'd be quite a few years worth,
3-4 years.
right?
At least, yeah.
Which amount?
Be less than 2 for me.
He's got,
The 6
I'm just gonna throw that out there. Less than 2 for me, but I'm in the part
But your,
expensive
your
part
house
of
is a little
town.
different.
In addition to taxes, there's probably special assessments for, you know,
water
water,
occupancy.
sewer, and weed things and stuff like that. The city has done, would be my guess, a little bit in there as well. Garbage, the garbage bills that weren't paid, probably.
Well, can we, go ahead and find out about Stearns County if that was set up and then make a decision later, or?
well, this is one of those properties that we've been trying to get,
It's been an issue property.
yeah.
And now you got people falling through floors on it?
Did they ever get the roof fixed? Is that still leaking through?
I haven't looked into it yet. I was going off of what I had for a record. It was already inspected by Brian once.
Because I thought they had just put like a foam sealant around that.
Yep, and he states in his letter that he had the roof and the soffit was the problem. And that was fixed, and I've seen him working out there, and it looks fixed when I drive by, yes. I haven't set an inspection because I wanted to see what we wanted to do here before I went and did a final complete inspection with him.
Well, even if you did fix everything on the house, the two issues that I see is that A, he's behind on his taxes.
Correct.
And then the other part is, you know, property's technically not in his name. You know, so I don't know what kind of legal ramifications there are on that for him or the city in this case.
Would our lawyer, he would have some feedback on that, wouldn't he?
Bethany probably would. I'm surprised it wasn't in that letter, to be honest with you. I don't know if it wasn't brought to her attention or not, but she's pretty smart when it comes to anything property-wise.
Okay, and,
She states in there without a valid rental license, tenants are not permitted on the property.
Correct.
As far as I know, he doesn't have a valid rental agreement, does he?
How
License?
can he rent it, like you said, if he doesn't own it?
You don't get a license until inspections are complete and
Right.
you pass the inspection.
So he's renting without a license
He's renting without a license.
and not owning the property.
Correct.
plus, in our ordinance too, it states that it has to be it has to be, up to date with taxes, correct?
But
Well, I guess my feeling is if people are falling through the floor, and he doesn't have his taxes paid, and it's not in his name, we keep moving forward.
Yep.
okay. Thoughts from Troy? Jan?
Oh, I'm okay with that, you know that.
All right.
I've been on that the whole time. Why would I change
I
that?
just gotta make sure.
No, it's just mind-boggling, some of the, you read it and it's,
It'd be different, I guess for me, it would be different if the house was well-kept and people weren't getting hurt in it. And, you know, at least he was showing that he was making an effort. But here, it clearly, I mean, the house is not in his name. People are getting hurt in the house. Clearly, he's not making an effort to
He's
make it livable.
collecting rent and not fixing it up. And
Right.
Well, he's collecting rent
license.
that's not even, rent on a property that's not even his,
Right. Right.
so.
And I know we discussed this too, that I feel for the tenant that's gonna have to leave that property.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we're gonna
for
have to-
sure.
That
You don't want
stinks,
that.
but I'd also
Yeah, I know.
rather not live in a house that's gonna hurt her.
And I know she's looking for new housing. I talked to her last week.
Is she an older person? Younger?
She's probably pretty close to my age.
Yeah.
Oh, so she's
Mid-30s.
younger, okay.
But
She's got-
even before she hurt herself and fell through, she had a hard time getting around. and
Yeah,
stuff
she
like
has
that.
definite health issues.
But
I'm
it's
not sure what they
super
are.
convenient for her because she's pretty involved with the Church of God and she's over there
Oh,
a couple times a week and she doesn't have a car, so she just wheels herself over there. So that's,
And it does have a ramp.
yeah, it has a ramp.
But we have an ordinance we need to enforce.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We do,
I know.
and if we unfortunately, if we make an exception for one, we gotta make an exception for them all. As much as it sucks, yeah.
Enforce it.
We gotta, I hate to say it, but yeah, we gotta enforce it.
Does the
That's what I
city
was
have
about.
anything to help her find new housing? Do we have any programs set up for something like that or anything?
Nothing on the books, no.
I wonder if like the Church of God would have a way for her to find housing through the church.
There's a possibility, or even contact Father Aaron at Assumption. I mean, he might be able to know people in town that might have a open room or, yeah.
And I think she's been working with social services too to get on the list.
Okay. So it looks like there is some options for her to go down, so.
Unfortunately, our options in town are pretty limited at this point.
Because I know she talked about even, our apartments here, with her income, that she could not be able to afford that, so,
She wouldn't meet the age.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I asked what her approximate age is.
The apartments on the other side of Coleman, are they all built?
I'm not sure. Up on the hill?
No, the ones
No,
right across from the,
right across from the
I
church.
think they are.
Oh, yeah.
I think they are.
half and ground ones.
Yeah,
They're full, you think?
I think so. I don't know for sure, but I mean, it's,
Either that or the ones on top of the hill, they might have some openings, I don't know.
I could ask Trent. He's managing that unit up there.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's see, what else you got?
Okay, inspections I completed, 360 Cosart Avenue. That's the one I inspected for late August, gave them until September 30th to complete it. I inspected it on Monday. They had one item off their list of $17.
What's the deadline to get that done?
Was September 30th.
Okay.
That's another Getzcall property. That one's in pretty bad shape.
Is that the blue one down there?
Yep, correct. We also, on that one, don't have any record if they paid their $100 fee or not. We can't, I didn't even have a file for this property in my files that I got, so I don't have anything on it. So I don't know if he paid, or we don't have proof that he didn't, but we don't have proof that he did. I called Darla and she tried to look. She said she tried to keep track of everything, but she wasn't 100% sure that he didn't, or she didn't pay it.
Okay.
Okay, but Danny lived in that house for a while before they went to that White House over here on Meeker Stearns.
She was the owner. Supposedly she's the owner.
Of 360 Cosart, so she owns it.
So,
Her neighbor's on it.
correct.
So how can you rent a property that's not his? Again.
Well, she's renting it,
that's-
he's the manager type thing.
A little bit of a loophole. All right.
I think we need to put more
I
into
don't think we need to put a whole lot of thought into this one either.
send that one to,
Send that one
Yeah.
over. All right.
And then 387 State Street North, after I left here that night, the next day I contacted the city attorney, Bethany, and she started drafting up, and before she filed it, she wanted me to check with Mr. Peavy to see if the work was completed, because if they filed it and the work was completed, they had nothing to basically take them to court on. So I checked it and it was completed, so a license was issued to him and further actions have stopped
Okay.
as of this point until something else comes up.
All right, 387,
It's good.
that's Bill's.
Bill's, yeah.
Bill's Bar, yeah.
Wow, I never thought I'd see the day on that one.
I had confidence.
Mr. Mayor, just for the record, 360 Colsart is listed to Daniel Getzko. That's the property one.
Okay,
Thanks, Ernie.
thank you.
And then I have 7 letters going out to 10 landlords on upcoming inspections for November. The starting of the 2-year license is starting to expire for properties, so that's starting all over again.
Okay.
At
That's it on rental.
477 Maple?
I'm sorry, what was that?
On 477 Maple, what's happening with that one?
That's the one we
That
were
was the
just,
one.
that was the one we were talking
Okay,
about.
okay,
Yeah.
yep, sorry about that.
That's okay.
364?
364, it was handed over to the city attorney, and I've kind of just been starting one big one at a time. So one of those, Jim, or probably Dennis Peavy's my next one. I told him I was gonna talk to him a week or 2 after and start on that property. So you'll hear on Cosart and Maple, you'll hear on Cosart you did, 364 you'll hear next month. You'll have a report on that next month.
That's over at the school.
That's
Behind
the
the
one that
school,
we.
That's by the school.
Yeah, that's the one that we
That's a
looked
big
at.
one.
Yep.
And we're still sitting on 167 Meeker Avenue, and that's the one.
167, that's the one that I mentioned my
Meeker.
first time, is that he evicted his tenant and he's gonna completely remodel it. So I said, that's fine, you just gotta let me know before you start renting it out again, so we can get it inspected and get you a
Because
license.
we changed that, right, that he can rent that
Yes.
property out, so, okay.
Yep. All right.
How about the house down the street here, sitting up on stilts?
That's gonna be on my zoning, which is coming up next here.
Okay,
Jumping ahead, Dan.
Good job
just
there.
wanted to
Yeah,
answer.
by the way, good job.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
All right, on to, well, I guess on to zoning then.
Can I just make a question or
Yeah.
statement? On that 364,
Yep,
siding can be done when it's cold. So,
yeah.
So can roofing. if
and
it needs to be
holes
done.
with squirrels, yeah, we should just take care of that.
I got it, yep.
Yeah, I know you do, you're on it. I just wanted to, let you know where I'm at.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Zoning, we had 3 permits. We had entryway on Heineman Avenue, which we passed. We had an addition to Schlungen Cabinet's office, which was passed, and then we had a deck for Michael Hesse, Evergreen Court, that was passed. So those 3 all passed. And then we discussed the pool ordinance that we had at the workshop the other week. We decided to recommend that we keep the setbacks the same as what they are currently for in-ground permanent pools and remove the setback for existing buildings on the spas. And remove the temporary pools completely from that zoning, or that ordinance. So
But you
that's-
are gonna keep spas in the ordinance?
I think Ernie mentioned that to me today, that we did talk about removing it, which we would be fine either way, but we want to make sure that we remove the setbacks from existing buildings on the spas, because most people have it right up against their back house or something when they jump off of, a deck or something. So we can remove it completely, and that would eliminate any questions or, any.
Okay.
You've accomplished a lot. Wow.
Anybody have any questions on Darren's?
I got one more item that
Oh, okay.
I forgot to put on my agenda here, sorry. The Roseau Building down the street here, I talked to Adam, and he suggests we can go the route, statute 463, which is a hazardous building and hazardous excavation. The good thing about that is we can assess the cost to the property, but a lot of times, and not all the times, but sometimes that cost is more than that property is worth. So basically, we'd have them move the house, backfill it at, I'm not sure if it would be our cost or if we would charge Roseau. But he did suggest we try giving him a letter one last time and saying, you need to get this stuff done in so much time, whatever time we decide that is. I would say it'd have to be a month, because we want that cement in the ground before it starts freezing, for sure.
Yeah,
Or we can just go ahead and go with the, charge them with the hazardous building and hazardous excavation.
Had we, in an official city capacity, reached out to him before this?
I haven't, I don't know if Brian has, but I have.
Brian
I-
talked to him, I thought.
I've talked to him off and on, just finding out what he's gonna do with it. and I'll get to it.
But nothing like official, like, hey,
A letter?
if you don't, we're,
No.
we're looking at options, okay.
Not recently.
Because of that, I'm looking at the letter with, the, you know, a letter with 30 days, not done in 30 days.
What's
We're-
done?
We're,
What do we- what do we-
it's on a foundation
Yeah,
or it's
we
moved
gotta spell
out.
that out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
needs
true.
to set.
Foundation backfilled,
Foundation's backfilled,
Yeah.
set.
backfilled.
Yeah, or the house is moved out and the hole is filled in.
And you, I would throw that statute in there, 370.
Yeah, and
That way,
Adam offered to help me write something up if you guys want it to be more legal.
His
Otherwise,
building
I can-
permit ran out, correct?
Correct, yeah. Otherwise, I can write something up myself, but it might be nice if we'd have to go the next step, that we do something really well through detail.
I think crossing the Ts and dotting the Is in this case would probably be warranted. What's your guys' thoughts? Having Adam.
Yeah, have Adam help you out.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's all I got then.
All right, well, I will go ahead and make a motion to accept the meeting minutes for Planning and Zoning Commission for September 26th.
I second it.
I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
You're good enough this time. And then I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve all 3 site permits for, that were referenced in the meeting minutes for the September 26th meeting.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thanks, Darren. All right, ordinance amendments. I should use proper terminology here. Set meeting hearing dates. So I was thinking that with the changes that we were looking at, that we would just combine that with our November meeting, which we're gonna have on the 14th of November. Anybody concerns? No?
No, that'd be fine.
Okay, all right.
So what are the changes? So as far as the pools and spas, so if we write up, you know, to get the amendments together so that they can be considered,
Yeah.
so what do you want on the pools and spas?
Okay. Darren, your recommendation was to remove the setbacks and,
To make it easier on everybody, I would probably just remove spas completely, but leave the setbacks for permanent in-ground pools the way they are. in our current
Okay.
ordinance.
okay. So remove the spas, leave pretty much everything else intact.
Correct, remove spas and the temporary, which was discussed at the last meeting.
Okay.
Okay, anything with the fence requirements, you want to keep those in there for the,
No, we want to keep those in there.
For the,
On permanent.
on the permanent?
Permanent.
Okay. There was a little bit of conversation about, oh, you want to take out the temporary completely?
Correct.
Okay. Because I know at the meeting, I think there was a little bit of conversation about requiring the ladders be removed from temporary ones, but, okay, just take it out. And then the other question that, you look at the minutes from the September 19th meeting, the other thing was Ernie was going to check on the fee schedule and administrative fine and all of that. Did you,
Which ones?
on the rental, if there was violation of rental, we talked about having an escalating, like after the first offense and then the second. We talked about a third, and you said that there probably was a limit on administrative fines, and that you were going to check into that, and then also talk about possibly the third offense would be a court citation instead of administrative.
Right, yep, no, I haven't talked to Brandy on that yet, so.
Okay, so then I'll just get that information so that we can have that ready for the hearing as well.
And then there was one thing that we were going to add in there, the home occupation,
Right, yep.
and then the fence permit recommendation, but also letting, well, we were also gonna put in there about letting Darren on buildings,
Right.
small buildings.
Yeah, I
and
just
accessory
wanted to
buildings. Okay.
clarify the ones
Oh,
that were
okay, you just wanted-
questioned on
okay.
the 19th. There were
All right.
those 2 things that we were waiting for, yeah, just answers on those.
Okay. All right.
So you want to just go at 7 o'clock at the November, you're looking at November 14th?
You still trucking away?
Oh, I'm guessing,
You're guessing?
but
Okay.
no, I'll make it.
You sure? Because we can always leave it at 7 o'clock and,
You wanna go earlier?
No, let's go 7, sorry.
okay, all right. I wanna make.
I was
sure- wanna make-
confused.
Nope,
No,
that's fine.
if we did it same time, that'd be great.
Okay, all right, we'll leave it at 7 o'clock.
We'll do
Thank
a
you.
Hearing at 7 and then meeting.
And then the
the
meeting
following.
right after, yep. All right. And then the Fredericks Park update. So, do have one thing. And I'll open it up to the page here so you guys can take a look at it. The park board made recommendation for purchase out of the, I forget the name of the trust that we're pulling this out of, for the playground. Christine Mall, okay. For purchase of a playground set, swing sets, and a teeter-totter. And I'll go ahead and, open it up. So on this side is where they're gonna lay it and how they propose layout, and then on the flip side here is the playground set.
And that's this one?
And that's that one, yep. And the total on that, the nice thing of it is that it's on a clearance. So we're basically getting the playground set for 50% off.
It's pretty close to what we have over here.
So normally a normally a $32,000 swing set, we're getting for 16. And so the park board would like to get our approval on spending the money out of the Christine Mall account for this playground equipment. Go ahead and get it, go ahead and get the color picked and get it ordered. The only thing is we'll need to figure out a place to store it for the meantime. Jim,
Brent's garage.
my garage?
Not mine either.
I've seen Brent's garage, there's no room in there.
And yes.
And my garage is full too.
We'll find her.
I make a motion that we approve this, the purchase of a playground equipment.
Second that motion.
All right, have a second? All in favor? Aye. All right.
At that time, at that meeting, did he discuss what kind of material underneath it and stuff? Is that part of the
Yeah.
discussion?
Yeah, that's, that'll need to be
Discussed again?
discussed yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sounds like the other options other than P-rock are, the cost is pretty expensive or not necessarily best for long case use, so, but yeah. I think I even seen that the park board has got a meeting on the books, so, I'm sure they'll be
16th
talking
to
about that.
17th?
Yeah, something like that. They'll be talking about it at that time. Dan, do you have any updates you wanna
Right,
share?
right now, on doing anything with the building at the park, we're having a hard time finding anybody even to bid on concrete work. Actually, nobody has bid at all, and actually, nobody has called back on bids on concrete, because everybody's so busy. So that's part of this meeting coming up, what we're gonna do. Even if we would, get somebody in, or get somebody to bid on it right now, it'd still be towards the end of October before we could even pour concrete at the very earliest. And then the next thing is doing the excavating, and having a hard time getting somebody to do that also. Everybody's so busy right now. And, so I think there's a lot of discussion needs to be done on that yet. So,
Is there an option to ask them for an additional time on that, Mona?
Not that I'm aware of the grant agreement.
I think
Okay.
it's pretty specific.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was, the wording in that agreement was pretty clear.
What's
So-
the ending date of that?
June 29th.
End of June, okay.
Be a busy spring down there. The way this is looking.
You know, and we're running into the risk of, you know, the weather. Well, we're running that, you know,
Running
we're
into
dealing
it,
with that
right.
right now, but, you know, at least get some of the work done yet this fall. You know, it's a lot less we have to deal with in the spring.
Well, the plan was to get the concrete in,
Yeah,
and then you could even do some of the building over the winter.
yeah.
But, we can't, like I said, we can't even get anybody to bid on the concrete work, and I don't know. It's where we're sitting on,
Do
sitting on.
you have somebody lined up to do the plumbing and all that?
We have 2 bids on plumbing right now,
Okay.
got that already.
Have you heard anything back from the lumber yard about the 2 different bids there, or the 2 different bids from 2 different companies too, on the building?
Not finalized. I just talked to Dan today, and, he said they can finalize the building part of it, but he said you won't get anybody to do the startup on it anymore this year. Unless we get into pouring concrete in November. You do that, a lot of times you have to pay more for concrete. Pay more, maybe have to put blankets over it, maybe, depending on temperature.
Heating, those heating
Probably.
Yeah,
blankets?
that's
I'll just say
Okay.
probably on that. In November.
Yeah.
Because that must mean the economy's good if everybody's busy.
And it's not that we just started looking at concrete with people last week, we've been working on that for a couple months for sure, 3 months. You can call people, the lumber yard even can call people and ask for bids, and they won't call back, because they're so busy on concrete. So, that's where that's at.
All right. All right. Jen, you're on the park board, anything,
No, I don't have any,
anything to add?
no.
Ernie, I know you're on the park board, you got anything to add too?
No, I guess the only thing I'm thinking is we might, maybe want to at least contact the state and do something to find out if we can't get contractors, I mean, we're having major issues with that. At least get their opinion on it. Because there's no guarantee we're gonna get anything done this year, and we've talked to a lot of people, and we're not getting anybody who wants to even bid it.
I can give her a call.
Okay.
Much concrete needs to be done? I mean, what's the size of the,
What is it, 40 by 80, something like that, and then
Yeah,
that's the building.
and the pad.
And the pad after that. Actually, the concrete outside is, building's 40 by 80, I think, and then, you got 5 feet, like sidewalks on both sides of it, all the way around it, plus the splash pad, which is like.
so right now we're just primarily concerned about the building, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
Yep.
Have you, there's a gentleman, Holt House, reach out to him at all? Okay. One of them that didn't call back? No, okay.
Double J, concrete out of, I think they're from Sunburg up there, anybody?
Stummus?
Nope, didn't talk to him.
Okay. All right, well, if I can think of anybody that pours concrete, I'll let you know. Might
Just
even-
get somebody to dig the hole.
Well,
Ain't finding a way to do that either.
You got a shovel?
No, I did enough of that already, I ain't shoveling that.
I got an extra one, Ernie, I'll be right there with you.
I know you will, but I don't think we can get her done by the time it freezes up, can you?
All right, okay, all right, let's go ahead and move on here. Closing out of funds.
Before we move on,
Oh,
should we
yeah.
cover one more thing?
Sure.
That actually has to do with the Frederick Park area, it's the plan negotiations that you had last week.
Oh,
I was
yes.
wondering where you were gonna
Yeah,
put that in.
yeah, sorry, I actually wrote a note that I was gonna do that, the clerk part, but, or my part, but that's all right.
I mean, it's related, when we started doing the Frederick Park, that's when we were doing the surveys and things like that, is when we discovered the issue.
Yep, so just kind of briefly recap for everybody. So when the surveys were being done down there at Fredericks Park, we found out that we actually owned more land back there than we originally thought, and ended up being 33 feet, no, am I reading this right? Yeah, 33 feet less for a couple of the property owners on the Highway 22 there. So we've been working with them. We started talking to them last year. Finally, we were able to sit down after we finalized some numbers, and we came to an agreement that the city would sell them for fair market value, 29 feet by 82.5 feet of what was classified as the city's back to, or to them.
And the reason why it's 29 feet rather than 33
Yep.
feet?
And the reason why is that we need to keep that 3 feet to be able to access the sewer mains if we need to dig up, repair, get equipment back there and so on. So that's why it's, instead of 33 feet, it's 29 feet. We did work out with Tina, that she agreed to the price of $2,100, minus a bill that she presented to us of $320 for cleaning out her sewer service lines of tree roots that would have been underneath the city-owned portion of the property at the time. For Crystal, she also agreed to the $2,100. Also worked out an agreement that to pay off some of that with in-kind painting services with the city, you know, and
And there was some tree cleanup.
and some tree cleanup, and there was one tree in her yard that right now is on city property that is real close to one of her electrical service lines that she would like to have removed. So, all in all, very good discussion. Very, you know, I was very happy on how we ended up on how that deal ended up, and presenting it to the rest of council here to get your guys' agreement on that to move forward.
I think you guys did a very nice job.
Well, I can't take total credit for
Wow.
this.
Mona and Jim
Yeah.
They put a lot of effort into this, and so I think they deserve a
The
lot of
total
credit.
group, I'm sorry, not just you guys.
Does that money come out of the park fund? Where does that money come from on the purchase of the project?
They're paying us.
They're paying us.
Oh, they're purchasing, they're going to give it to, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's property they thought all the years, and we thought all
We
these
owned it,
years
yeah.
that they owned it. they've
And
been
after it got
maintaining
surveyed,
it
they found out it
and
was-
everything. And then found out that it actually
Way of
started
wording it,
from.
selling the other way, so, yeah, okay.
Yep, so, all right. Any comments, questions?
Okay, are we gonna install the chain link fence, or are?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's part of the city.
That's
Okay.
part of the park.
That's part
project.
of the park project, yeah, and that
Oh,
was
okay.
just to, and to make sure that, you know, both, you know, we're all on the same page of what kind of fence was going to be put back. Because we will be, where the fence is now.
Yep.
That fence is going to be moved, more to the west.
West, okay.
So that fence will have to be replaced with a new chain link. We wanted to make sure, because some of the property owners there have requested a different type of fence. So we just wanted to make sure that we got it documented what kind of fence that they wanted.
Okay.
It's not gonna be chain link then.
It is going to be
It
chain
is
link.
gonna be chain
Yep,
link.
it is going to be chain link.
Since it was that extra couple feet back and then they're getting that footage, they're happy with it, just a chain link
Okay.
fence.
Yeah,
Theirs is chain link, but from the end of Tina's going south,
will be
that is
privacy.
gonna be privacy, because those residents requested privacy fence.
Yeah. All right. All right.
We have to have a motion, right?
Please.
Yep, please.
Make a motion to accept, the amount of money to be paid to the city for the
Basically just to approve the.
Just approve the
Just to
language.
approve the negotiation. How's that sound?
All right, I have a motion to approve it. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I'll give it to Troy.
Give it a try.
All right, I'll give it to Troy.
Thanks for the chicken.
You were like a millisecond fast.
Trying to get it.
I got in a couple.
It wasn't quite a jinx.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, guys. All right, now we'll go ahead and move on to closing out of funds. All right, looks like according to this, there's two funds that are out there that one is recommending to close out and consider moving those funds over to the capital outlay fund. The first fund is a special revenue fund of tax increment District 3. The district was decertified back in December 31st, 2012. All tax funds have been settled with the state and have been closed, the fund in the records as well. There remains a balance of $22,964.52 of non-TIF dollars that we can transfer over to the capital improvement fund. Looks like this seems to be standard fare. We've done this in the past where there's existing precedents. The second fund is a debt service fund for the GO improvement bonds. The final payment of the bond was made in January this year. We do have a current balance left in that fund of $6,694.11. We have no further obligations related to that improvement bond that would require payment out of that. There's a possibility of delinquent tax receipts still coming in, but there is a recommendation to go ahead and close that account and move those funds also over to the capital improvement.
Sounds pretty basic.
All right,
Make a motion to close out these two funds.
I second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
And just a note, we did, since I brought up this recommendation, we did get the interest on that 2007 GO improvement bond. So
Okay.
the balance of that, instead of the 669411, is now 6,702.74. So that amount will be transferred plus any additional tax receipts that come
all
in.
right.
Great,
Should we
thanks.
redo the motion on that to make sure we got the pricing right, or?
I guess if you're okay with that,
No.
I had it here, in the recommendation was to transfer it and any future receipts. I just wanted to let you know that
Yeah, I glossed that over.
some of the future had arrived since I wrote.
All right. Well, thank you, Mona. Okay, all right, so then there is now a new employee recognition policy. So with Mona planning on her retirement coming in November, we wanted to put something together for a policy on how the city can do employee recognition. And this kind of goes beyond, retirements and that. This goes like for length of service and so this would be to allow us as a city to be able to recognize our employees. Actually, I'm gonna read this first paragraph here on this because it's actually worded really well. A policy for the city of Eden Valley to recognize our employees as a valuable asset in a service-oriented city government and recognize employees who have shown loyalty, dedication, and commitment to their work. So, everybody had a chance to read through it. Anybody
Looks good.
Questions? comments?
Looks good.
Okay.
Troy?
Right. All right.
Looks good.
All right, then I will go ahead and make a motion to approve and implement the new employee recognition and service awards policy. Can I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, on to public forum. Steve, you want to step up and say a few words, or?
Oh, I think I'm good.
Okay, all right.
I know her later person,
All right, sounds good.
add much more to it.
All right, then we'll go ahead and move on to tonight's favorite subject, paying of the bills. All right.
I'll
everybody
make a
have-
motion to pay the bills except for Teal and Machine.
All right, I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
And then I will go ahead and make a motion to pay Teal and Machine. I'm gonna, all right, I'll give it to Troy again. All right, all in favor? Aye.
Opposed.
Got you on that one, huh? You did. I think you can cut Mona a little bit. Yeah.
I had to look at that one too, opposed.
That one out.
Yeah. Abstain.
Okay, all right. Okay, on to, Mona.
All right, have cash and investment balance report through Jefferson Yep. And, I guess the other thing, the only other thing I have is, you notice Nicole isn't here, and I don't know if you wanna cover that, Brent?
Yeah, so I got a call, yesterday, from Mona that, that Nicole had been offered her old job back at the city of Kimball, and she, let Mona know that, she was going to accept that and go back to work for them. I did come down and I did talk to her personally, tried to, actually, I tried to change her mind. Asked her, she has no, there wasn't anything the city did, there's nothing that we did as council. She said the staff is, her coworkers were phenomenal, but just, she felt that, going back to Kimball was her right move to go back to working for that city. So, I'll say it, wish her well, wish she would've stayed, but, gotta go where, if you're not happy where you're at, you gotta go where you are gonna be happy, so. So with that in mind, I've already been talking to Mona a little bit about this, and I would like to go ahead and reopen the hiring of a city clerk.
Question for you.
Sure.
before you- Did she submit an official resignation letter that we need to approve, or don't we need to approve anything like that?
I mean, you can, she didn't submit a letter, but you can certainly, probably be a good idea to approve her resignation and also remove her as official
City clerk.
signature on,
I make a motion that we approve her resignation and remove her from the signature, from the bank and any other place that she is official signature on.
Yep, and also I will add to that, also remove her as the election
Judge.
head judge.
Yeah.
Just thought of that now. I'm sure you're already on top of it, Mona, but. Yeah, I'll go ahead and second that. All in favor? Aye. Then I'll go ahead and make a motion to open up the hiring process again for the position of city clerk for the city of Eden Valley.
My question is there anybody that in the last candidate group would qualify? Or do you still want to open it up?
I think, since it's been a few months have passed since
Okay.
last time we interviewed, I know I would like to have it open back up
Okay.
and see, see what else we can get, for applications, reopen it up.
I think we should open it back up again.
Okay. I just was asking.
Okay, no problem. All right, well, that motion still stands. Do I have a second on that? Troy with second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then to go ahead and just wrap that up, Dan, you wanna be on the hiring committee again? for that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Hiring committee or interview committee?
Or interview committee, yeah. I'm still kind of in shock over that.
should we establish a closing date?
Yeah,
Maybe the 24th? We'll be able to get it in the voice on the 10th.
get it in
Maybe
the voice
have
and then.
applications due by the 24th, but we can get rolling on it so that you've got somebody
Someone can retire.
starting November when I leave.
Yeah, yeah, the clock is ticking.
We'll be down here running the office, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys want me down here running the office.
I can get it posted tomorrow on our website and on the League of Minnesota Cities website, and then get it in the Voice. It would be published on the 10th, and
Okay,
that would,
so that would give,
about 3 weeks basically for,
Yeah.
other than the Voice would be.
I think that would be sufficient. And then, should we just go ahead and just plan on meeting right away on the 25th, that day after? You can
Do whatever you wanna do.
Go through, or go through
that-
the applications
Yeah. And decide,
and decide who we want to bring in to
Right.
interview. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right, what else you got?
That's it.
That's it? All right. Thank you, Mona. Ernie?
Wait a minute, I have a question. How is the billing going, like, using the credit card or pulling them out of the direct, accounts?
Oh, the automatic payment?
Yeah.
It's going very well. We only had one account that, the first time when it went through, then we got notified by the bank that they had issued a stop payment on it. So I contacted them and they said they did not issue a stop payment, and they were sure someone else, and I said, well, you need to check with your bank and
Okay.
find out who is doing that. And then we ended up sending that person a shut-off notice, and then that bill got paid. And then the next month, when the auto pay went out, that account was returned as non-sufficient funds. So I did have to notify them that they would no longer be on auto pay until they could, guarantee that we would not have to do that, because it's quite a process for us to, and the bank too, to go through all of that, so.
So do you think we have 20 people, or?
Oh, we have more than that, yeah. To be honest, I don't know for
Okay.
sure the exact number. I know email billings, I think if I'm not mistaken, when they processed bills the other day, I thought I heard them say 67 went out by email, so.
That's really good.
That is really
Yeah,
nice.
the auto pay is going very well, though.
Well,
There are a number of people on the auto pay.
I'm glad you brought that up and got that going. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Sorry, I'm cutting people off before they get a chance to speak. Anybody else have anything for Mona? All right, and we'll go on to Ernie. How's it going?
Good, you got the monthly report, and then just an update on Officer Mole. He's come along okay. Pretty green, but he's getting there. We've been getting a lot of training hours in with him. I mean, I think kind of the word's out, of trying to get him to meet as many people as we can, so the business owners have been trying to do that, but it's all going pretty well. Turning loose a little bit now, but we're gonna reel him in here and do a couple more training things. He's been going to classes, so he should be on his own here pretty soon. And once we get done with that, we've talked to the council, then we're gonna try to get another guy going background for next year, we got another guy that's pretty highly recommended. We'll try to get that second guy hired that we talked about, so we got a couple part-time. Derek called me yesterday, he's gonna turn his stuff in and officially resign, so he's gonna be done. That's kinda where we're at.
Okay.
Other than that, everything's going fine.
All right. You need anything from us to go ahead and start moving forward with that second part-time?
No, I think we talked about it back, we
Yeah.
wanted to do two. And the council had already given me the okay to do that, so it's trying to find the guy has been the hard part. We're just not, other than green guys, there's not a lot of guys out there right now. I wish used to be, you could pick up some guys with experience, but the days are done. County has the same issue we have. I mean, nobody can find guys to work anymore. Nobody wants to be cops, other than the guys that, that are young and green, so.
All right.
Other than that, that's all I got.
All right. Anybody got anything for Ernie? All right. Thank you, Ernie.
Thank you.
Jim?
We'll be wrapping up irrigation of the fields this month. Everything's right where it needs to be. We're doing fine there. Last Friday, we had the water plant reservoir cleaned and inspected. 18 years. If we got 3 5-gallon pails of minerals out of it, that's basically it. Otherwise, that thing is nice.
That's not bad.
Oh, amazing.
No, they didn't see any structural issues?
No, we got a DVD of it.
Okay.
We looked at it already. Very, very little settlement in there. The welcome sign has been moved also as of last Friday. And there again, getting people to finish landscape around it probably won't be till next spring.
Oh, we got it out of their way, that's the main thing.
Right.
And I have to admit, coming down that curve now, seeing that sign there, that looks pretty sharp.
I hope it's, yeah. I guess I would have turned it a little bit more, but it was said and done because I had to run back and forth.
I think it looks pretty good.
I think it looks fine.
I think too, it's perfect.
Yeah,
More
they
to it.
did a good job.
Good job, Jim.
I think it's more noticeable there than it was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 Get that corn out of the way, it'll really be noticeable.
Oh, Steve's got the board.
I was speaking harsh with Steve over there.
You know what, and I would like to take a moment to formally thank Steve for working with us so we can relocate the sign to where it is. I think it looks phenomenal where it is. Gives a nice little gateway into town now.
We're looking into the cost of what it would take to put a light, electric light on it.
Okay.
Possibly look at it all of them down the road, but it's kind of in a rough spot where that's at there to get power to it.
Would solar be an option out there?
We have a solar on it that,
It's not very bright though?
no.
Okay.
Not unless they're coming up bigger and better things I do not know. Without,
Yeah,
yeah.
They just had like those little.
It was the
those
best
little
you can
solar
find on the
panels,
market.
Yeah. Without going into like a industrial grade solar panel hanging off the back.
But that's where that's at for now.
All right.
Other than that, I've told you about we talked about what's going on around town here. And Dollar General, as everybody sees, so Monday morning cement went down.
Yep. See, they got the foundation poured.
Not been contacted other than getting the sign, and have not been contacted about water and sewer.
Okay. All right. And then we did get and that's for you too, did get the developer's agreement back, so that's all signed, taken care of. So. All right. Anything for Jim? Any questions for him? Okay.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. All right, then, I was gonna go ahead and bring up, you guys have an email that I had received, actually earlier today. So the disaster recovery fund, so we did that disaster recovery training, that couple of sessions, a few months back. There was that, the third part of it was applying for that matching grant. Since the deadline was so close, I went ahead and I filled out the application and I applied for it. They didn't choose us, we were third in line on that, so, but he did, as you can see on here, he did have in there that if one of those two cities doesn't end up moving forward, that we would be next in line. So we're not totally out of the woods yet. I haven't had a chance to reach out to him. I mean, it was 4:25 when the email came through. So I do plan on reaching back out to him and saying, you know, hey, is this a yearly thing? Could we reapply for it next year, or when the next time, you know, a program like this would be available? So I think it's a good idea to set that up.
So that second part of it was that, they would fill in all the information and we'd enter more information in? Is that what that second part of that grant?
This is that second part of that, applying for the official grant through the Initiative Foundation to
Do the
set up
paperwork.
set up that disaster recovery fund with them. And that would be a matching fund of 20, it would be a match up to $20,000. So we would put in 10,000, they would put in 10,000. And our 10,000 could be done through fundraising, donations,
Okay.
and so on, to make that up. And there was and it's not like we have to come up with it all at once, we can do it over a period of time. I can't remember exactly if it was a year or two that we had to come up with the matching funds. And it's not one of those deals that if we didn't come up with the full 10,000, they would just match whatever we raised. So if we do 8,000, then they would put 8,000 into it. So.
I thought that was a very good program. Got us thinking about what we should be doing with our community with,
After the initial disaster, moving on to that second stage of,
Right.
recovery, getting things back to normal, or close to normal as possible. All right.
thank you for applying.
Yeah, no problem,
that.
no problem. All right, anybody have anything else?
Midsummer Blast, are we got all the bills in yet? Are you still waiting for?
Okay.
One thing I did forget to bring up, in the last meeting, there was a request from the gentleman that has the used car lot about a water and sewer connection, waiving that fee. He has not responded with any plan, has not responded. You had asked me, have him see about meeting with you. He's not responded to any of that. The only response I got was he wanted to know if he could make that on a payment plan. And I just said, not that I'm aware of, was my reply back. I have not heard anything back since.
Question for you, is the hookup fees different for business than it is for
Not
resident?
the same residential or
Okay.
business.
I asked Frank about that, he thought the same thing, but figured I'd ask him.
Yeah, they're the same. regardless.
Yeah, and I haven't seen, I know I haven't seen anything from him either. So, I know he's been there, I've seen him talking to people over there, but. So, I guess I'm almost at, like, we just wait for him to reach back out and, see if he wants to meet. If I do see him, I'll talk to him, but,
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know I had not heard anything
Okay.
about that.
all right, yeah. So I'm not in a position to make a decision myself, so I don't know about the rest of you guys.
I can. I'll just say, if you want me to waive $2,000, if you can at least come sit at the table. That's my opinion.
Right,
I have a hard time, I gotta work hard for my money. And if I want something from somebody, at least show some respect and come up and talk to us. And if you can't do that, then I can't. But, whatever you guys wish.
Nope.
I'm not granting anything, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying, everybody's got their own opinion.
All right, does anybody have anything else they wanted to bring up? Okay. All right, so then that moves on to our next meeting date. It's going to be November 14th. That'll be a public hearing for ordinance amendments at 7 o'clock with our regularly scheduled regular meeting right after that session, so.
And we'll probably also be having a special meeting somewhere in between there to hire.
Oh, yeah, and a to be determined special meeting to hire a replacement clerk. All right.
No, there's a meeting tomorrow night in St. Cloud. Did I write that down correctly?
What kind of a meeting?
Like a,
Oh, is that regional, the
Yeah.
regional meeting?
Oh, the League Minnesota
Yeah.
Regional? Okay. Could be, I don't know. I didn't sign up for it. You and Brent signed up for it.
Did you? I did.
Yeah.
Oh, you
You
did?
asked me at the last meeting, you
Okay.
said sign me up for that, and Jan said sign me up for that.
Okay.
So you're both registered for that.
Okay.
I don't even know what time or,
Join the League of
Well,
Minnesota deal will come up.
I will,
Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be,
I can check. It's probably, I'm sure it's on the website.
yeah, and we
Okay.
can, well, we can figure it out.
I did read it
5:30
somewhere.
tomorrow morning.
Oh. Are you gonna wake me up when you
No,
get up?
I'm long gone, buddy.
Well, then just give me a call.
Oh, yeah, wake her up when you get up.
Oh, I can do that.
That's what her question was.
Won't be very long.
Or when you get down there, give me a call.
All right.
I just have one thing here, just follow up with in the beginning, we were talking about trails, bike trails. There is I found it while we were
Okay.
sitting here. On Monday, October 15th at 10:30 a.m. at the courthouse in Litchfield.
Yep, I got
We're
it
gonna
down.
have
Remember seeing that, too.
bike trails. I'm not sure exactly what.
Oh, yeah, it's in room A or something. Yeah, I got that on the calendar.
Yeah, and they want
Yeah.
ideas for where you want trails, is what they want.
The part of the county,
Yeah, it's the county, Meeker County Trails Plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they want to have
Is that in
ideas.
connection with DNR too? Is that the one? I think, yeah, because I got that email.
Yeah.
Joint effort, I think it is, yeah.
And that does remind me of another one. There is a Meeker County Housing Forum on the
one too.
30th of October.
Eagles Club.
Yeah,
They
Eagles,
said
I got
the-
that
yep,
written
at the
down
Eagles
too.
Club.
That was at like 5:30 or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Five
I'm
or
trying
something
to,
like
I'm trying to
that.
find the email on that.
5? Yeah. I have it on my calendar to go to that.
Yeah, I got it on there
Oh,
too.
it's 4 o'clock, 4 to 7 PM at the Litchfield Eagles Club. Looks like there's, you do have to register or RSVP for it, so, I think I might have that RSVP email in here that I can forward to Mona and, and get it out to everybody.
Wasn't that,
I think it was sent out already, wasn't it?
Oh, was it sent out already?
Yeah.
Oh, did I already send it out? Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
There
was a few
There was like
responses.
4 different emails that they sent
I
out.
sent to the council and I also sent it to the EDA board.
Okay, all right.
Pat responded with his usual, cool.
No, I did send it.
She didn't send it from her Gmail account.
So tomorrow when you,
Yeah.
when you all get one.
Yeah, Pat's excited.
Okay. Anything else?
All right, all right. With that being said, I think we got everything squared away for tonight. I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
No, I said entertain.
I'll entertain your motion.
All right. Got you on it. Second? Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.